Hey there, thanks for joining me for my little Sagittarius full moon breakdown. Let's talk about what's going on up there in the heavens because it's been kind of a wild week. I know a lot of people have had some pretty intense emotional ups and downs, some intense stories coming in and out of our lives, really riling us up in the Cancer Capricorn areas of our life, which is, rooted in our past and kind of our ambitious future. Cancer being kind of where we come from, our tribe, our familial ancestry, what is comfortable, what is safe, what is secure, and Capricorn being what is ever reaching forward. It's kind of the powers that be. It is the authority in government, in higher forms of law. It is Saturn in Capricorn time and Pluto in Capricorn. We are really working through these kind of bigger forms and kind of rebelling against them. Thus with Mars in Cancer and Mercury and Cancer kind of traveling together in the sky right now, we have been really, really sensitive, and people have been tense and feeling easily kind of touchy and easily kind of triggered. It's not an easy time for anyone. Everyone's kind of uncovering this little part of themselves that's holding them back, or just like keeping them from emotionally engaging fully. They're questioning their ability to allow their feelings to be present. Do I power through and let these emotions fall to the wayside, or do I acknowledge my emotions, sit with them, and nurture them? That's kind of the general question going on right now. That's the Cancer Capricorn axis, this holding on to the past, this preoccupation with future endeavors. So a lot of tension, right? Saturn and Pluto are the heavy hitters of the zodiac. They keep us responsible, and they break us down in certain ways that need to be brought to our attention. And Mercury being how we think, and Mars how we act. When we're moving through Cancer times like this, we're super, super touchy. And I kind of mentioned this earlier, but like the full moon in Sag to me is not the brightest, most happy full moon that kind of Instagram is painting it to be. At least not this go around. Typically, yeah, it would be like a more fun full moon, sure. But I do not view it as like this kind of really buoyant, wonderful time, because the rest of the sky is like in this kind of upheaval, this karmic heaviness, this kind of, like we're going through it right now, and we're trying to assess what we need to move forward and what we need to, let be. So the full moon in Sag comes, I think, at a nice time, because what Sag does represent is that opening of the mind. It is that allowing for new things to enter into our sphere, to travel, to explore, to be the philosopher, the student. There is a desire to learn in Sag, a desire to expand. It's ruled by Jupiter. So, big, we think big in Sag. We're like, God, I just want to be bigger than life. Right? Everyone's got a dream. Sag is about the vision. So we've got this vision, but we're kind of bogged down in the muck and mire of the Cancer Capricorn reality play zone right now, if you will. We're just like, things are tough. Things are emotionally pressing. And in Cancer Cap, it becomes really kind of glaringly obvious where our insecurities get stemmed from. And they're typically of a parental nature. I mean, Cancer and Capricorn are kind of the mother-father figures of the zodiac, in my opinion. So we get really kind of interested in family, interested in our ambitions, and bogged down by that reality. So here comes in this full moon in Sag, who's trying to do its like most positive vibes ever, but the sky is not really supportive of that exactly. Because this full moon in Sag is ruled by Jupiter. And anytime you want to look at a full moon and understand a little bit more about what the kind of intention and feeling is for this full moon, you want to look to the ruler of the sign, and that would be Jupiter. So, today Jupiter is in this square with Neptune, a perfect square, I believe 18 Pisces, 18 Sagittarius. So they're kind of fighting each other, right? Squares are about conflict leading to action. And they can be tough. There's a lot of kind of friction with squares. And Jupiter and Neptune are both kind of a higher mind. They're very spiritual. They're very interested in nirvana and growth, psychological expansion. And a big thing here with Jupiter square Neptune is this kind of delusions of grandeur. and kind of being swept up in our own visions and our illusions of life. And it's really easy at this point, we do want to dream. I would never want, yeah, I know it's a Capricorn moon right now, but I don't want to like put a damper on our dreaming. We do want to dream. We want to envision that new reality, that next level where we're trying to move into. But there can be a little bit of spiritual delusion right now. We can think we're better than we are, that we're healers, that we are helping others when we are maybe just kind of self-involved and are self-interested. This could be my Jupiter Neptune platform. Everybody has one, right? We're all kind of going through it like, oh, we have to separate our illusions and our delusions and be like, what's what here? Another big thing with this full moon is this kind of heavy influence of dreams. I don't know if you guys have been having them, but I've been having these wild dreams where I wake up in the morning and I'm like so slow getting ready for work because these dreams, I just have to process them. I'm like, what just happened? Like, what the fuck did that mean? Where did that person come from? Why are they, who, what, like really foggy influence. And we are extremely emotionally sensitive with the Jupiter square Neptune. We're kind of drowning in our feelings, especially with all the planets in Cancer, these really touchy, personal planets, Mars, Mercury. We're just like, protecting ourselves, protecting our emotions. So with Jupiter square Neptune here, the full moon is amplified by that kind of Neptunian feel. It's like getting swept up in the waves and being kind of put into that fog. And all you have to do is kind of just stand in the fog and like, just let it pass. Let it pass, use your senses to the best of your ability, but any movement could wind up being detrimental. So especially with Mars opposite Saturn all week, and it's going on to oppose Pluto in the next few days as well. Mars opposite Pluto is going to not be so much about the blocking and the frustration and the obstacles and the, just hitting the brakes kind of thing that we had this week. Mars opposite Pluto is going to be more about raw power. We're going to be tapping into our aggressive nature. We're going to be feeling just kind of in our primordial sense. We're going to just be like, very, very primal. And we're going to be feeling really raw and vulnerable and want to understand our power. What are our power dynamics? That's what's next on our kind of agenda. We saw what was holding us up and what needed to be slowed down this week and needed to just be like, whoa, hold on. Before we move forward, we need to look at this. Now we're kind of moving into power dynamics and vulnerability and emotional vulnerability, especially with all this Cancerian stuff, right? So that's what's happening with Mars Pluto. Mercury is coming to oppose Saturn as well, and then we'll follow with Pluto. More fun. Mercury, Saturn, of course, is kind of negative thinking, a little bit of, maybe Mercury's past that right now, but and probably right now or in the last few days or upcoming, Mercury opposite Saturn, negative thinking, limited thinking, not feeling up to it. It hurts the dream. It's not good for the dream with Mercury, Saturn. It's like, it's hard to dream. So I do think that full moon in Sag is here with pretty good timing, because it's like, wait, hold on. We can have a big picture. We can keep an eye on the big picture here. So Mercury, Saturn, a little depressive thinking, a little down in a funk. And Mercury will come to oppose Pluto as well, because Mercury and Mars are moving in the sky together. So Mercury will oppose Pluto, and that's going to take us on a deep dive mentally. We're going to be kind of doing our own therapy, right? Like diving into our psyche, diving into our subconscious, really seeing what's in there and, kind of cleaning out our skeletons out of the closet, right? Like, that's Mercury Pluto stuff. Deep investigative research, penetrating into the mind, seeing what's really going on there and kind of what's emotionally driving us. So we're not done. We're not out of this kind of situation yet. The full moon in Sag helps, but we're still in this kind of really oceanic pull. We're in this foggy ocean, and that's not the best for like total movements, total movement forward. Not best for action. Mars opposite Pluto opposite Saturn. No, not the best time to initiate quite yet. And then, of course, next month we have the eclipses and the retrograde and all this other fun magical stuff. But we'll kind of save that for now. For now, kind of the full moon in Sag, what you can do with that energy, right? Full moons are about peak illumination. It's about a culmination of what's been going on for you last 2 weeks. Like, what can you access in this peak awareness in your Sagittarius house? What can you tap into? Where can you look in with no inhibition? Because full moons allow that kind of perception. because everything is illuminated. So you can see it all, right? So take this time to kind of sit with it, see it all, see where it's going, see where the vision is taking you. Know that we're a little held up because Mars, the planet of action, opposing Saturn, limitation. Mars opposing Pluto, deep emotional digging out, pulling out the roots. Mercury, Saturn, Pluto, oh God, it's not the right time. But it is the right time to do some internal reflection, some dreaming. Think about it. Really start to envision and start doing the inner work that can soon be transmuted, into some external work, because there's that push and pull with Cancer Cap. Internal work, external ambition. So to get to that kind of ambitious place that everyone's feeling with all the Capricorn heavy hitters hanging out there, we have to really kind of work on this inner emotional scale that we have going on, and open yourself up to feeling vulnerable and kind of move through the frustrations at a pace that kind of accommodates you. So that's kind of where we're at in the sky this week. It's going to be a little mucky and miry because we have the moon moving through Capricorn, touching Saturn, Pluto, the south node. It's like, the next few days, man. We're not exactly out. We're not out of the woods yet. So keep on keeping on.